Chuck, the date started out good.
It's been a good day. Well, Chuck, then what happened?
What's going on, everybody? Obsession Podcast. I'm Mike Stadler.
I'm Carl Bethke.
Hey, Carl, how are you doing?
I am outstanding.
I believe that.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, we're on week number 2 of our rutcation. Yeah, if we need it.
Yeah. Hopefully we're done.
Hopefully we're done. But it's
Could be.
Could be. First week in November, Mike.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Of course, you guys realize that we are, again, filming this early.
Yep.
Not going to lie. It's a fact. But we're going to talk about first week in November, hunting processes, things what we'd be doing this time of year.
Yep.
We could be done. We might not be done. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully done.
Stick around. Watch the videos.
You'll know if we're done.
Yeah, you'll know. Just watch Wednesday's shows. If we killed, you guys are going to see that on Wednesday's shows. And if we haven't, you'll probably see that on Wednesday's shows.
So first week in November.
First week in November.
What do you think?
I think it's the late pre-rut going into kind of, I don't want to call it the breeding phase, but yeah, kind of the breeding phase. It's before lockdown, Mike. Lockdown.
There's a real short applause for that one.
That was a little one. But, yeah, so November, first week of November, still really hot. Rattling, decoys, still very, very useful.
You're gonna have some does are hot.
Some does
Obviously.
are real hot.
You're gonna have some does that are hot.
And what happens when does are hot, guys? You know, obviously you're gonna have 4 or 5 different bucks chasing them.
I know.
What happens?
Yeah, a lot of bucks chasing them.
A lot of bucks.
And they come in hot.
They do. Yeah, and they're moving.
Yeah, that's what I mean by hot.
That's what he means by
like
hot.
Out of a cannon.
Yeah, like not standing and not being stopped, and starts to be difficult to pick up deer on movements just due to 4 bucks chasing the one hot doe.
Yeah.
Or 5. We experienced that heavy last year at my place. You did.
Yeah, I did. You were done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was done, but did not find yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a time. It's fun. You can see sometimes a lot more deer, and like Carl said, a lot more bucks running. Sometimes the problem is getting them to stay.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously there's going to be hot does. There's going to be does that have already come in that are chasing around. There's going to be new ones coming in.
Yep.
To estrus. And you're going to get a lot of the younger bucks that will be chasing around those other does.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And the fawns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be running fawns all over the place.
So it's kind of we don't hunt it a lot different.
No.
Ourselves.
The one thing that we could say that you could do, which we usually don't, we still stay to our routine, but I'll throw this out for some of you guys, is this is when you could start to do what people refer to as the all-day sit.
Yeah.
Okay? But when I say all-day sit, and what some of you might be thinking as an all-day sit are 2 different things. When Mike and I talk all-day sits, we talk 1 stand in the morning, 1 stand midday, and 1 stand in the evening. Okay? And they're 3 separate locations. Usually. Not always, but usually. The morning location is due to thermals, movement, and knowing where the bedding areas are, picking up that transition from food to bed. So now the bucks are going to be heavy on the does, and wherever the does go is where the bucks are going to be. The smaller bucks at this point will probably still checking because they're the ones that get their butts beat in their transition between bedding area to bedding area. Depending on your property, what a smaller buck is can vary from other properties.
Right.
You know, some properties, let's say Mike and my property, when we say a transition deer at this time, we're talking like a 1.5 old to a 2.5 old. The 3.5s or older are usually right with the does, if they're in estrus.
Yep.
They will transition off if there's no does in estrus in the area. They will do the search thing just like everybody else. But this time of year, they don't sleep all that much, and when they do, it's only for a short period of time. They get up and move again. Water holes are hot. Scrape activity is down.
Yeah, you usually don't see too much.
Nope. They're going from bedding area to bedding area. They may stop going through, kind of scent check something, but it's not like when it was the pre-rut, when they're tearing stuff up and coming in on purpose. That being said, a midday stand is transition from bedding area to bedding area. So if you got two bedding areas, you're hunting the transitions between the two because that's where the bucks are going to be traveling. If you have 3 or 4 bedding areas, you can hunt any of those transitions. Just make sure that the wind is correct. You can't blow your wind, just like every other time. No wind blows into deer areas. And if you're moving, you can get away with a little more now on the grounds that 9 times out of 10 the woods are opened a little bit more, so you can see a little bit further, so you can control your movement a little bit better. The hard part is leaves.
Yeah.
Sound.
Yeah. Sound and cover for you.
Yes.
In a stand.
Yeah.
You know, like this time of year, I like to push in
Tight.
a little tight.
That guy, if he sees a deer bedded, like if there's a deer bedded on camera, he's like the vampire in the
Yeah, it
tree.
might be
Right
above
above.
him.
He's like right there.
I like to push in this time of year a little bit. If I haven't gotten it done, I will push the bedding areas a little harder.
Which is legitimate.
And it isn't. I'm not just barreling in.
No.
There are stands that are set that are in tight to the bedding area, and the reason why I do that is because they do cling a lot tighter to it where they're chasing around. Better opportunity to try to pick one of them off. They're usually not chasing around a lot out in the open. It seems like they move in, like Carl kind of mentioned that. So I like to push in on the bedding a little bit in the morning, especially here at night is where we like to sit at edges of my bottom for sure.
Yeah.
Which is where we shot the majority of the bucks here.
Yep.
But you can get in there.
True.
And the deer they'll come out of bedding and they'll go right past you if you're sitting there with the right wind, and they don't bust you.
Nope.
And you just got to make sure your exit plan is good. The problem with it that I find a lot of times with those exit plans is they're late.
Yeah.
You got to sit there for a long time. It's got to get pretty dark.
Yeah, don't be afraid to let it get dark.
And I don't care. And then you get out. If you're in the dark and you're already down, who cares?
Right.
So
The other aspect of it is this is a good time. So you guys watch Mike and I this spring, especially at his place. We did it at my place too, and you guys can see the videos when we were doing small property layouts. But we made better fallback bedding areas. So these fallback bedding areas and their stand set basically right on them.
yep.
And this is when we hunt those particular spots, and they're very productive. And that's why we set that stuff up when we talk about it. But this is when you would go in and hunt that fallback bedding, because the traditional bedding areas, depending on your neighbors or depending on whether you're hunting public or whatever, probably get hit pretty hard.
Yeah, and you gotta remember the time of year too. So a lot of people have been out now.
Yeah.
So the deer may be pushed in a little deeper in your property or any property.
Yeah.
Depending upon how they hunt around you.
Right.
So.
And that's when we hit this stuff pretty hard. So seems to have been pretty productive for us. A lot of times, this time of year, you'll see a lot of the bigger bucks come off early morning off of a doe that they had spent all evening with and start that heavy downwind movement on bedding, whether it be the fallback bedding or a regular bedding area. This is when the bigger bucks are going from doe to doe also and trying to transition. A lot of deer get shot this time of year. Everybody calls it the rut. Now the rut is pretty much the whole process from September through.
The rut is
Yeah, but we're coming into the point now where we're going to be getting to the serious breeding phase. Lockdown stuff is what people will talk about towards the end of this time period.
all bucks are on their feet right now.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing. I
if
think.
they got a rack, they're moving.
They're moving somewhere.
Yes, tactics wise, rattling is starting to go away at this point. You can still do it if you've got, depending on your buck to doe ratio in your area, but we found it to be far less productive this time of year.
Decoying's mostly done,
Decoys pretty much
in our
done.
opinion. Grunting is still always viable in certain instances.
You can catch a big buck on the edge of food currently. So water holes will be huge, especially if you didn't have any rain.
Yeah.
Bigger deer will be hitting the water.
And why?
And why?
Yeah.
Because they're chasing and they need
Correct.
all the water and everything.
Correct.
And if you've got isolated water source, they're going to feel safer there than going to
Yep.
something else. Like so Mike's ponds or my water holes or Mike's water holes here. You guys will see a lot of pictures, video, and everything coming off of us or our properties then. And even if we were done hunting, that's when we see a lot of activity kick up. The other aspect of things, like I said earlier, was the scraping areas will be hit less, but they will check them if they get off of a doe and come through. If for some reason, let's just say all the antlerless or all the does in your area are not hot, you'll actually see the deer numbers probably decrease in your area. Honestly, you may see more nighttime buck movement at that point because the bucks are traveling further. This is the time of period where you'll run into big bucks that you've never seen before.
You get stragglers.
Yep.
For sure.
Because if, let's just say, a mile away, there's only 20 does or 10 does, and the majority of them have been bred over the last 2 or 3 weeks, them bucks start traveling and go in different areas. And the same thing, realize the same thing will happen in your area also. So,
Yep.
that's what I see. You got anything you want to add to that one?
No, not really. It's still
Still a good chance to shoot a good
still a good
buck.
chance to shoot it. It's a lot more aggressive point of the year for us too. We push it a little bit harder.
Yep. We will call.
Yeah, that's why I said with grunts we're still calling,
Yes.
but we're not decoying anymore.
And we're not rattling.
And we're not rattling. They're really not looking for that anymore. So that's kind of the biggest things for us. We push in a little harder in bedding because you're getting to that point where you have to, really. Because everybody knows kind of as that rut goes on, it starts to get a little bit slowed down.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah, sitting that water is nice. Even if you have, we have a lot of isolated water holes.
Yes.
We do it on purpose. And you might not see a lot on them throughout the year, but you're going to. So don't be afraid to sit somewhere where you can shoot that water hole. And you better be able to shoot the water hole anyway if you have it somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, never put an hat on, you can't hunt.
Yeah, because they're running around all day looking, so they're going to get thirsty.
They will get thirsty. And they'll spend a little time there too.
Yep.
It's also a congregation area for does.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Remember to check out on Wednesdays all the hunts, whether it be Mike or myself or some of the other guys on the staff. We appreciate you guys watching that stuff. If you guys have any comments, remember to leave them right here below in the comments here at YouTube. If you want to check us out on Spotify, check us out on
Spotify?
Yeah.
RSS.com?
Yeah, Google,
Amazon.
Apple.
iHeart.
Check out our pretty faces right here at YouTube.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
It's Alzheimer's.